Can you believe what I'm holding right now? It's one of the first ever third-party lenses for L-mount that has autofocus. That's right. What also makes this lens compelling though is when we compare it price-wise to the LUMIX 85mm 1.8, the LUMIX retails for $599, where the MEIKE retails for $219. So in this video, we're going to be comparing and testing the two against each other and going over the pros and cons to each and which one I recommend. We're also going on a field trip, so sit in your seat. Okay? All right, forgot this though, and I'll be needing that too. Okay, to clarify, I've actually already gone on the field trip and I'm shooting this later, but I'm going again. Probably for some point of it, I won't have this helmet on. It'll be different, so like continuity is, it's whatever. Also, MEIKE sent me this lens in exchange for a review video. It's not sponsored, I wasn't paid. They don't see the video beforehand. You know the drill. If you don't know me, my name's Dustin. You know what? I'm wasting time. I'm your video tour guide. Roll the thing. Wouldn't be a video without Tyler.
I was looking for your truck.
Yeah, that's why.
So I was like, what? I missed you?
So I've traveled out to the mountain. Sorry, I'm recording on an Insta360 with the internal mic, so if the audio is bad, apologies, but we've brought the MEIKE 85mm 1.8, and we're gonna be just taking a bunch of shots, and then I'm gonna go back and grab the 85mm for LUMIX, and I'm gonna do the same thing, and then I'm gonna take some of those pictures, some of that video, and compare and see how they hold up, you know? Shooting on the internal mic again, but one of the interesting things that I found out about this lens, I don't think it has anything to do with my camera, but when I change it to 48 frames per second, the lens is at an f1. Oh, hey, so yeah, I originally encountered a little glitch, a little problem with this lens, but I let MEIKE know, and then they reached back out to me, sent me a different firmware, and then after I did the update, it fixed the issue. So hats off to them, but I figure since I had to do the firmware update process, I might as well tell you how to do that. Essentially what we have is this port right here. It's a little USB port. It's not USB-C, it's a type A, is that what it's called? I forget all the USB names. You plug it into your computer, and then you take the firmware file and you put it on the lens. Now, it was supposed to eject itself from the computer once the update process was finished. At least that's what it said on the website. It never did that though, but eventually I just ejected it, and then there's like this text file on the lens itself, and when you click that, it'll display what the firmware version is. And it said it was the new firmware, and then when I put it on my camera, yeah, it was working again. I'm not gonna say what the issue is because, yeah, it's fixed, so make sure to update firmware. So now we're gonna go out and test the LUMIX 85mm, so let's keep going.
actually kind of fun.
It was.
Just going fast.
Going fast down the run.
Well, I mean, it wasn't very good snow.
Not at all.
Not at all.
By the way, before we take a look at some of these comparisons, if you want to learn more about how to use your LUMIX camera, I just launched an online course a few days ago, and I just got to thank everyone who has already signed up for the course. I'm super excited for this LUMIX learning hub to grow. There's currently about 2 hours of content teaching you about most of the video features on the camera, with the photography section coming soon, hopefully by the end of this month. It's just a one-time payment to get lifetime access to a growing library of videos, sample footage, LUTs, and more. The course in its current state is mostly geared towards beginners, or if you are just trying to get a better understanding of what the settings do on your LUMIX camera. I'll have a link in the description if you want to check it out or learn more. Now, let me pull this up right here. I've just got Lightroom pulled up right now. I just opened my favorite photos that I shot with the 85mm MEIKE, and I'm just gonna kind of go through them and talk about them. I thought this one was just really cool with the snow, you know, being made. I think it looks great. I kind of zoom in here and we can see if there's any kind of like issues, I guess you could say, but from what I'm seeing, everything looks pretty clean. Like, this is at 800%, and yeah, I mean, it looks, I'd be pixel peeping right there. Let me just go into the next one because I think it's a better example of just kind of the detail that it shows. And yeah, everything here, I don't really see any kind of glaring obvious problems or whatever. There's maybe a little bit of magenta and fringing right here. We'll go to the next one, because this one you can kind of see it, you know, maybe some flaring and losing some contrast here, but I don't really mind it. Some people might mind it. And zoom in here, yeah, you can kind of just see we've lost some of the contrast, but this one I thought was pretty cool. This is actually like a famous movie director's house. Fun little fact. Robert Redford. One time I helped set up a live event up there back when I was doing live events. Even this stuff back here, like there's quite a bit of pretty good detail when we look at it. And this one I thought was kind of cool because this was the wind blowing, and it did capture that detail pretty well too. So this one was pretty cool as well. I saw these crows. They were like playing in the wind. This was the best shot I got of them. I put it in the animal detect mode, and I did notice it lost focus a few times. So, and we'll get to the autofocus in a second. Here's just a nice little portrait. It has some pretty good background to like subject separation. So this was at an f5. And yeah, like it's really separating the subject from the background really well right here, I feel like. This was a good shot. I really got the lighting good on his face. And yeah, you can see really good detail, even zoomed in this far. And the aperture of this right now is at an f1.8. And I don't really see any kind of like vignetting or anything too. Here's another good shot, good demonstration of like the background separation. This is at an f2.8. This was at f2. Maybe right here, you can kind of maybe see some fringing on the skis if we zoom in. Yeah, you can see maybe a tiny bit of magenta right here and right here. Not terrible. Yeah, I can see a little bit here too, but we are getting, you know, you see how far I'm zooming in. So there's another one shot at f1.8. I think at an f1.8, it's still really sharp. I'm still not really seeing any vignetting or anything like that. And you can see, yeah, you can see definitely fringing when we get into f1.8. It's much more obvious in the background blur, it seems. So kind of accentuates it. So I'm going to pull up some of my favorites on the LUMIX, and I'm just going to kind of do the same thing, zoom in and see how it compares. Here's kind of a similar mountain shot here. And yeah, zooming in, I mean, it seems to be about just as sharp. This is an f5.6. The thing though is that the LUMIX lens looks much, much cleaner, at least on this first photo. Let's check this one. So yeah, you zoom in on this one and like the detail on it is just so clean. Like I would say the MEIKE and the LUMIX, at least so far, are probably about the same sharpness wise, but the LUMIX is just much, much cleaner, it seems, overall. As I just kind of look around, like you just don't see anything, right? Even right here on some of these kind of shiny, silvery objects, which can, you know, bring in some of that fringing, I just don't really see any of it. Very, very, very clean. This kind of gives an idea of the background separation. This is at an f6.3. And even at an f6.3, it's getting some good background separation. I did get one portrait, I believe, that I'll just pull up, but look at this one. So this is at an f8, and like, man, the detail on it, and it's just so clean, even in these back trees back here. You can see the hairs on his chin. Very, very clean when I zoom way in like that. So the LUMIX is just so clean. About the autofocus, well, you can definitely tell that the MEIKE is slower than the LUMIX, but it still kept up pretty well. Really, my biggest complaint about the MEIKE is it definitely feels like very cheap, like very like plastic cheap. It's kind of one of the first lenses I've used where the build quality, I can't really say it's like that good. Plus the focus ring, it seems to almost like catch a little. Like it's smooth, but as I, turn it, it like catches right there and then it gets like smooth again. But I really think I gotta give it a pass because it's only $219 and it's really not that bad for basically a third of the price of the LUMIX. However, the number one biggest advantage with the LUMIX is that it is weather sealed. The MEIKE is not. And a lot of the time, I do see the LUMIX 85mm on sale for $497. So now you're only paying double the price for the LUMIX, so just keep that in mind. Now, MEIKE also offers a 50mm and a 35mm lens as well that are also very reasonably priced. And you could get almost all three of those for the price of one of the LUMIX lenses, so still not bad. One thing that I do have to say when collaborating with MEIKE on this is I gotta give credit for them fixing that bug via firmware before me finishing the video. So really just gives me like confidence that the brand is committed to making sure that their products like work well, even if they're more like in the budget category, which brings me to who do I recommend this lens for? I really think if you're a beginner and you just bought your first LUMIX camera, you really can't go wrong with these lenses. By these lenses, I mean the 50mm and the 35mm. But however, if you have experience and you just bought a L-mount camera, it might be worth spending the extra to get the LUMIX 85mm, just because it's weather sealed and you can really grow into that line of S lenses because there's a bunch of different focal lengths already available and they're all the same size with the same design. I can't get up. There it is. I'm okay. Anyways, that's all I got for this video. Let me know what you guys think of the lenses down in the comments. Sorry, I'm filming on the internal mic, so it's gonna be windy. Audio's probably gonna suck, but I'll have affiliate links down in the description. So if you use those, they help support the channel. So thank you to everybody who's used them. But if you guys just support me by hitting the subscribe button and the bell button to be notified future uploads. Till the next video though, happy filming.